Former President Donald Trump recently made comments suggesting he may consider military intervention in countries beyond Venezuela if he returns to office. The remarks have drawn attention from foreign policy analysts and sparked discussions about potential shifts in U.S. military engagement abroad. During a recent public appearance, Trump addressed questions about his previous statements on Venezuela, where he had previously floated the idea of military options to address the ongoing political and humanitarian crisis. According to reports from multiple news outlets, Trump expanded on this theme, indicating that Venezuela might not be the only nation where he would consider such measures. Public records show that Trump has long maintained a foreign policy stance, emphasizing American strength and willingness to use military force when he believes U.S. interests are at stake. Throughout his first term in office, from 2017 to 2021, he frequently spoke about keeping military options on the table in various international situations, though he also emphasized his preference for achieving goals through economic pressure and negotiation when possible. The recent comments come at a time when several global hotspots continue to present foreign policy challenges for the United States. Official statements from Trump's team have not provided specific details about which other countries he might be referencing, leaving analysts to interpret his remarks. Within the broader context of current international tensions, Venezuela has been experiencing a prolonged crisis involving political instability, economic collapse, and mass migration that has affected neighboring countries throughout Latin America. The situation has prompted various responses from the international community, with different nations taking different approaches to the Venezuelan government. U.S. policy toward Venezuela has included economic sanctions and diplomatic pressure, with both Republican and Democratic administrations maintaining that the Venezuelan government has undermined democratic institutions. Foreign policy experts note that talk of military intervention typically serves multiple purposes in political discourse. According to analysts who spoke to major news organizations, such statements can be intended to signal resolve to adversaries, rally domestic political support, or create negotiating leverage without necessarily indicating concrete plans for action. Some observers point out that Trump's communication style often includes strong rhetoric that may not directly translate into policy implementation. During his previous term, despite frequent tough talk on various international matters, actual military engagements remained relatively limited compared to some previous administrations. Other analysts express concern that ambiguous statements about military action can create uncertainty in international relations and potentially complicate diplomatic efforts. Reports indicate that foreign governments pay close attention to such remarks when calibrating their own policies and responses. The question of presidential authority to engage in military action remains an important constitutional and political issue in the United States. Official procedures generally involve coordination between the executive branch and Congress, though the specific requirements vary depending on the nature and scope of any military operation. Legal experts note that these considerations would apply regardless of which party controls the White House. This topic also relates to broader debates about America's role in the world. Different political perspectives exist on when and how the United States should engage militarily in other countries. Some emphasize the importance of protecting American interests and supporting allies, while others prioritize diplomatic solutions and caution against military entanglements that could prove costly. In both human and economic terms, public records show that American voters consistently rank foreign policy among the factors they consider when evaluating presidential candidates. Though domestic issues often receive more attention during campaign seasons, polling data indicates that Americans hold diverse views on military intervention, with opinions often depending on the specific circumstances and perceived threats involved. The discussion around these recent comments fits into the larger context of the 2024 presidential race, where candidates from both major parties are presenting their visions for America's international posture. Debates about military readiness, alliance commitments, and the appropriate use of force continue to be relevant topics in political discourse. Media coverage of Trump's remarks has varied across different outlets, with some emphasizing the strength-focused aspects of his message while others focus on questions about the implications of such statements. As with many political topics, interpretation often depends on the perspective of the observer and their prior views on military engagement and presidential leadership style. What remains clear is that questions about potential military action will continue to be part of the political conversation as the election approaches. Voters interested in foreign policy will have opportunities to hear more detailed proposals from all candidates as campaigns progress and debates take place. Understanding these discussions requires looking at both the historical context of U.S. foreign policy and the current global situation. Official government sources and established news organizations continue to provide information as developments unfold and candidates further clarify their positions on international affairs. For now, the comments serve as a reminder that presidential decisions about military engagement carry significant weight and that voters pay attention to how candidates discuss the potential use of American military power on the world stage.